Now for this evening's final woman of distinction, Marsha Weinstein.
Extraordinary women have been a thread in Marsha Weinstein's life since her childhood in Huntsville, Alabama.
I came from a family that has been always committed to community service. My mother was very involved in the community.
Even before she was a teenager, Marsha had identified storytelling as a way for her voice to be heard. She carried that talent into adulthood and continues to reveal stories that might never have been told.
My motivation is to tell my story and other women's stories in an effort to inspire people, young people, old people, all age people, to take action and believe in themselves that they too can make a difference and contribute to our community and our world.
Marsha's commitment to change was emboldened in her first weeks as the executive director of the Kentucky Commission on Women.
When Governor Jones appointed me to head the Kentucky Commission on Women, one of the first weeks in the office, I was going through the old files to, see what had gone on in the past. And one of the files that jumped out at me was a file on clemency and the fact that the governor of Ohio had granted clemency to several women. And I thought to myself, as soon as I saw it, that's it. That is it. I'm going to get Governor Jones to grant clemency to women before he leaves office.
I went to Frankfurt and sat next to a woman who seemed to know everything that was going on and had a passion for changing it. So I spoke to Marsha briefly and then knew I wanted to have her come speak to my students at U of L. And when she did, I realized that this was somebody I could learn a lot from.
Marsha's focus on clemency included conversations with inmates at the Kentucky Correctional Institute for Women, who created a survivor's quilt. The quilt was displayed at the 1995 State Fair, where Governor Jones saw it.
So when he sees the quilt, he starts to cry. And he says, Marsha, we got to do something to help these women.
It was on his final day in office that Governor Jones granted clemency to 10 women.
I must say, she is the most persistent woman I know. And it is as if the word no does not exist in her vocabulary.
Marsha's persistence is also clear in her work with girls, helping to develop their leadership skills early. She founded the Alliance for Girls and organizes the annual Louisville Girls Leadership Summit.
Every other Sunday, most months of the year, Marsha is working with girls, helping them to develop their leadership skills, which is so important. Let them find their voices in high school, not when they're in their 40s.
The drive to help girls find their voices also compels Marsha to educate others about women's history. With Elizabeth Cady Stanton's great-great-granddaughter, Marsha founded the Elizabeth Cady Stanton Trust, a 3,600-piece collection of memorabilia from the women's suffrage movement.
Women's history is a major tool for social change. And if people learn these stories of all the hard work and dedication that have gone on before us to give us the rights and opportunities we have today, that they too will be inspired to make a change.
But Marsha's dedication to women's history isn't just limited to the United States.
What I also realized that was disturbing to me when I was in China is that women from the United States have absolutely so many resources and wealth, and so many women across the world have absolutely nothing. And I feel like it is American women's responsibility to do more for women across the world.
You can talk to her about the barriers that we're going to face, and she always says, yeah, I know, but. And you know that means, oh, we're off again, and we're not going to give up.
Marsha, I don't know why you didn't wear the Statue of Liberty getup tonight. It really makes a statement. Tonight's presentation for Marsha is by her daughter, Laura Weinstein.
For the many of you who know my mother, know the significant and tireless efforts she has made to improve our community. What many of you are unfamiliar with, however, is what it was like to be the daughter of such an extraordinary woman. I believe this brief glimpse will demonstrate her patient and loving character, committed and selfless attitude, as well as her optimistic belief in the ability to create positive local and national change for women, girls, and families. My childhood in many ways was shaped by my mother's community involvement, through observing her commitment to social justice from a very early age. Rather than taking part in childhood games of school or teacher, stereotypical female domains, my parents said I preferred to play going to a meeting, mimicking the dominant impression my mother left on my imagination. As I grew older, I developed a greater sense of the importance of expressing my opinion and the power of civic involvement. The spring break of 6th grade, I marched alongside my mother in Washington, D.C. as a participant in one of the largest pro-choice rallies ever held. Although embarrassed at the time, I can look back and see how witnessing such an event has enabled me to develop my own voice and empowered me to embrace those issues in which I believe. One of my mother's favorite sayings is, "You can only go as far as you dream." I will always remember a gift, a necklace she gave me, of a hand holding a star, to remind me of the limitless potential in whatever I wanted to pursue. My mother has been a role model in diligently breaking down real and socially imagined gender barriers, an effort from which I myself and many other girls have benefited. I stand on my mother's shoulders as I pursue my PhD in political science in UCLA and work to address the dearth of female representation in higher academic pursuits. Through all of these lessons, however, my mother has taught me foremost to leave this world a better place than I left it. Whether through a brief interaction or a lifetime of love, my mother's exuberance for life and passion for improving the lives of others has left and continues to leave an indelibly positive impact on everyone with whom she comes in contact. It is my great honor to present my mother, Marsha Weinstein, with this official Women of Distinction brooch and induct her into the Center for Women and Families Gallery of Distinction.